Hi everyone, my name is Chloe and welcome to the start of the Reading Rush Stay at Home Readathon. So today is day one. It is Thursday, April 16th, and I just am leaving an appointment at the OB. I have been having some blood pressure issues where it drops really low and my heart rate kind of goes up, and so I had my appointment today and he said just kind of keep tracking it, take a lot of rest, and eat and drink frequently, that kind of stuff. You know, he's not too concerned about it, so that is really good. Baby sounds good, everything's good, so that is an awesome update. So as far as reading goes, for people who follow my vlogs, I'm gonna tell you what I finished last night. It really has nothing to do with the readathon. I finished Overwhelmed. And this was a nonfiction about just being overwhelmed. And the first half starts with a self-assessment to determine what kind of overwhelmed you are. So there's 6 different kinds. And so it talks, and then it goes and talks about each kind and what could have caused it, personality types that are prone to it, that kind of thing. And so then the second half, you take another self-assessment to see like what kind of solution might be best for you. And then it goes through 10 solutions to feeling overwhelmed and ways to kind of combat it. So I gave it a 4 stars. As a type A person, a lot of the solutions did not apply to me just because a lot of them were about pre-planning and organization and that kind of stuff. And that is not really a problem for me because I am just very type A, very organized. I'm very anxious, so I like to plan the future as much as I can. So those kind of things weren't very helpful, but it did talk a lot about like introspection and expectations for yourself and for other people. And that was really helpful to think about. So it also helped to clarify like what triggers me feeling overwhelmed. And so I would highly recommend the book if you are not a type A person, 110%. If you are a type A person, it's still a good read, but you may not get quite as much out of it as somebody who struggles a little more with organization and clutter and that kind of stuff. So it also is very heavily Christian based. So if that is not your thing, this is probably not the book for you. Okay, now back to the Reading Rush TBR and that kind of stuff. So I have already changed my TBR. It's 10 o'clock on the first day and I've already changed my TBR. The reason is I am physically reading, well, it's in my purse, I'm not going to get it out, but The Woman Who Stole My Life by Marian Keyes. This one is kind of a cop-out because I was already halfway through it, and it technically can fill all of the challenges. It has a cityscape on it, so that can be where somebody lives. I can read it all, the rest of it probably in our playroom downstairs. Let's see, what are the other challenges? It makes me smile because I like Marian Keyes and I like just kind of rom-com-y chick lit type books, and that's kind of what this is. And the 4th challenge I'm spacing on, but it meets it too, and I can't remember. So yeah, that one could fit everything. It's a cop-out because I was only halfway, or already halfway, so whatever. But I am still physically reading that, and that was on my TBR. The other thing I picked up today was not on my TBR. It is The Last Breath by Kimberly Bell. Now, I have read The Marriage Lie by her, and I really liked it. And so I have this one on my shelves, and I picked it up on audio because I wanted, everything else on my TBR was more, either more nonfiction, which I just kind of need a break from, or it was, I was afraid it was going to be too similar to The Woman Who Stole My Life, and I just did not want to get confused that way. So this is a mystery thriller about, I don't really know what it's about actually. I intentionally went in pretty blind, but I'm just a few pages in, not far at all. And it's about a woman who has an affair with her neighbor, I think, and then her husband kills her. And maybe the guy too. I don't think the guy, just I think he kills her. And so then the story is told from the guy, the killer's daughter's perspective. And then also it goes back to the past from the woman who is killed, her perspective. So if that makes sense, it's 2 timelines, 2 perspectives, and so far I'm really liking it. And the whole situation was, it was a second marriage, so it was stepchildren, and the kids were like upper teens when the murder happened. So this girl is going back to her hometown in present day, and she is the murderer's daughter. She's known as the murderer's daughter. And so, and she has memories of this because she was a teenager. So it's very interesting. Kimberly Bell, like I said, I really like The Marriage Lie. So I'm excited to read this. And so really the only prompts it's going to fit is making me smile because since it's audio, I'm going to be doing it while I'm running around, so I won't be doing it in the same place. The cover is just a woman, like, I think kind of looking out at a lake. There will be a picture up so you'll know, but so it doesn't have a home on it. And the fourth challenge, I cannot even remember. So anyway, that's it. So my husband has my daughter right now because, of course, it is very slim pickings at the OB. You can't take anybody with you and all of that. I didn't wear a mask, and I don't know if that's safe or not, but I sanitized everything and never touched my face. So that's good. Doctor was wearing a mask. Everything in there is super clean. Today I had to get the Tdap shot, and that is no fun, but whatever. It's just a shot. And they said today I'm 32 weeks. And so they said my next appointment I can do via phone. And that's also going to be right around the time that our state reassesses the stay-at-home order. May 3rd is the stay-at-home order, and I think my appointment is maybe May 4th. So we'll see what comes to that. I guess they'll call me. So now I'm going to go home and just play with my daughter and hang out. It's a very gloomy, I don't know if you can really see, but it's a pretty gloomy day. We're supposed to get rain starting here in about an hour. So I'm going to go home. I was up so much in the night. So I think my husband's going to take off an extra hour between 1 and 2 so I can lay down before nap time and have a really long nap time. I'm really hoping that works out today. So this is shaping up to be a very good day. Baby's good. All my concerns are good. And yeah. So hopefully we'll get some good napping, some good reading. I have almost 200 pages left in The Woman Who Stole My Life, but it reads very fast. So I'm hoping I can get that done today, and I will check in later. Bye.
Hey guys, so it is nap time, and I just am getting on because I finished The Woman Who Stole My Life by Marian Keyes, and I'm going to give it 3 stars. It was definitely not my favorite Marian Keyes by far. It is just really, like, all the characters are very, like, hyperbolic, are very, like, exaggerated, and just so ridiculous that they're not at all realistic. And then the way the book is told, it's told like in 3 timelines. And so in the beginning, there's a past section when she is in a coma, and that is by far the best part of this book. And then there's a part where she is in New York after having written a book, and she's going on her press tour and all that kind of stuff. Then there's even further in the future where she is in Ireland and has lost all of her money. And so those 3 timelines are really confusing at certain points in this book. And I just, like, it's 530 pages, and it was way too long. It felt almost like by the time I just got to the end, it was like the part where she was in a coma and it was super interesting. That was like a whole book ago, it felt like it was very, like, disjointed almost. And overall, it was just very much like the last 200 or 300 pages went really fast, but it was kind of a slog at the same time, if that makes sense. This is not one of her best, for sure, but it does fit the prompt. I finished it all right here on my living room couch, and it's somewhere I want to go because it's set in New York and Dublin, and it makes me happy that I finished it because this is one that has been on my shelves forever because it's so big. I haven't picked it up. I buddy read it with my sister, Alana, and she used to have a channel called Alana Reads, but she really hated it. She gave it 2 stars, said it probably should have been a 1, and so she really didn't like it, and it just didn't have really anything going for it. Marian Keyes is very much known for her character-driven stories, and I just didn't like really any of the characters in this. And so there was one character named Georgie, and I'm not going to tell you who she is, but she was actually my favorite of everybody in this book. She was the most, like, level-headed and kind, and she was by far my favorite character. So overall, the romance in this too was just meh. It was just a meh book. 3 stars for me. So that means I'm still reading Last Breath by Kimberly Bell on audio, and then I'm not sure what I'm going to pick up physically. So it's like 4:30. My daughter is napping late. The weather is really gloomy, so I think that's probably why. She stayed up reading for a long time. and so she didn't go to sleep until like 3:30. So pretty soon I'm gonna get up, get her up, get dinner started, and yeah. But this, even though I only read half of it today, I'm counting this as really all the challenges and my first book down for this readathon. So that's super exciting and makes me feel really happy. So if you watch my vlogs regularly, you know that I am really trying to do one good thing every day. And so in this time, it's really easy to focus on all the things we're missing out on and all the things we can't do. And so I'm just really trying to focus on at least one good thing a day. So today, my good thing is personally that this baby is healthy. Like I said earlier, have been having a lot of blood pressure issues. And with my daughter, I had similar issues, but during labor especially, my blood pressure would drop and her heart rate would drop. So I was really concerned about this baby, but the doctor said no, it's probably just getting all of my blood volume. And so when I have the low blood pressure, as long as it's still moving and everything, then it's probably doing okay. And this morning, its heartbeat was good. So all of that is just, the end of pregnancy is so stressful because you are supposed to do kick counts and like make sure that it's kicking the same amount, and so much can go wrong and you can't see. So it's just stressful, especially for anxiety ridden people anyway. So my good thing is that it's doing okay. Yeah, so that is my update for now. I will get on probably tomorrow. I don't know if I'll pick up anything physically tonight or just do the audiobook. And I've got quite a bit of it left, so I won't finish it tonight. So I'll probably get on and update tomorrow. Talk to you later. Bye.
Hey everyone, it is Friday and it's about 12:20. I'm about to go upstairs and make lunch, but I thought I would get on and let you know that I finished The Last Breath by Kimberly Bell. And I'm giving it 3 stars. I was really disappointed in it, but the reason being because I don't think it was a thriller. I think it was a family drama with a did he do it, did he didn't do it mystery element and a whole lot of steamy times. But I don't think it was necessarily a thriller. So the book is told mainly from the perspective of a girl named Gia. And she is like a humanitarian that goes all over the world and goes into crisis situations to help people. And so she is called back to her hometown because her dad is dying of cancer. Now, her dad had been in prison for 16 years for killing his wife, which would be Gia's stepmom. And we don't know, did he actually do it or did he not? And so she goes back to take care of him. Her brother and sister both like want nothing to do with it because they've been there in the small town the whole 16 years that this has been going on. And so they are really not helpful, and she's kind of just thrown there by herself to deal with this. So she meets a guy named Jake who owns like the local bar, and they kind of have a one-night stand that turns into a relationship. And for me, I had a really hard time believing like the deeper part of that relationship. Like it was a lot of steamy times, but it was also like kind of insta love, and I just didn't really buy it. And so didn't love the relationship. And then the most of the book explores Gia's relationship with her brother, her sister, her dad, because she didn't visit at all that 16 years, and she of course assumed he was guilty. And the other suspects are a man that the wife was supposedly having an affair with, and he is still in the town as well, but he's like a drunken recluse, and so we don't know what's going on with him. Or could it be a third party intruder? We don't know. So there's somebody, right, like a journalist or something, who says her dad's innocent, and so she's kind of like, well, maybe, and that starts that thought, and it also starts some guilt about thinking her dad, just automatically assuming her dad was guilty and whatever. So it's a lot of relationship drama about her relationship with her family. And so that's why I don't really think it was a thriller. And it's also not really a whodunit. It's a did he do it or not. And because, yeah, it just was. And so it was just okay. And for me, the pacing was kind of slow. We also do get some journal entries from the stepmom. And so we see like what was going on in the past, because Gia was 18 when her stepmom was killed. And so now it's 16 years later. So whatever that is for age. But so we get journal entries from like 16 years ago from the stepmom. And so we know a lot of what's going on. So then when it's revealed in the present time, it's not really twists it's not a twist because we already knew what was going on. So a lot of people tout this as like a twisty, mysterious thriller. And I just didn't see, like, there was a couple twists, but they didn't really add much for me. Like, I don't know. And so then in the end, when it was revealed who did it, it was just kind of anticlimactic to me. And the whole thing was just kind of, it was decent enough, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. It's not enough to put me off Kimberly Bell, but it's just okay. So 3 stars for that. And then I think what I'm going to do is pick up Queen of Babble by Meg Cabot. And this is a trilogy. And this one, the Last Breath counts for one that makes me happy because mood reading makes me happy. And I have been in such a thriller mood too that like reading a thriller makes me happy. It's not really anywhere I want set because it's just some random small town. It's not anything. I didn't read it in one spot because I had it on audio, so I was running around all morning. We have a stack of pictures that we still don't have spots for. So my daughter and I ran around and placed the pictures where I want them and put like painter's tape on the wall. So now my husband will just walk around and hang things. So we did that this morning. We did some cooking, which I have said I'm not in the mood for baking, and I'm still not, but I did a no-bake thing, so hopefully that's good, because last night I made like these little mini quiches, and they weren't very good. And then our potatoes, we have like a rack. You've probably seen it in the background when I film upstairs, but we have like a rack thing that we put our potatoes in, and they get too much sunlight apparently. So I went to make potatoes last night and they are like green, and so we read about it, and it's the chlorophyll, and it can make them taste bitter, and like too much of it is not good. So we just kind of decided we were not going to eat them. So then I put frozen potatoes in the air fryer and they burnt. So long story short, dinner last night was sort of a disaster. So I thought, well, today I'm going to make a no-bake dessert just in case. Tonight I'm making something I've made before, but just in case we need something extra to have, because last night we were like, so who wants some cereal? So that is what we've been doing today. And then, yeah, I'm going to pick up Meg Cabot's Queen of Babble. This one also makes me happy. This one, it's, I think, set in London, and so I would love to go there. I don't know if I'll read it all in the same spot. It's 300 pages, so maybe during nap time I'll lay on the couch and read it, and maybe I can finish it all in my upstairs living room. We'll see. Last night I slept like 4 hours. I just couldn't fall asleep till like 11:30, and then 3:30 I was up. So, yeah, I'm really tired. So we're going to go now, make lunch, eat lunch, do grocery pickup, which I feel like I do like every other day, but it's because everything's empty. So we'll do grocery pickup and then come home, and, I think I'll put her down for a nap, or my husband will put her down for a nap, and then he's going to take the monitor. So from 4 to 5, he can take her. So that is the plan for the rest of the day, and I will check in later. Bye. Hey guys, it is Saturday at almost 10 o'clock, and I just thought I'd let you know that I finished Queen of Babble by Meg Cabot, and I gave it 3.5 stars. I thought this was really cute. It did feel more like a YA to me than like she just graduated college, so I guess that would be like a new adult. It felt very YA, very typical Meg Cabot, in that it's pretty shallow and easy to read, but entertaining nonetheless. So I liked it. This is about a girl who goes to London to see her long-distance boyfriend, who she's really only met once, and she gets there, and of course things kind of blow up in her face. They've only been dating 3 months, don't really know each other, and she goes overseas despite all of her friends and family saying, hey, this isn't a good idea. So she goes, finds out some stuff about him that is not great, and she kind of spills the beans and gets him in trouble, and she ends up just running from the situation. And so she gets on a train to go see her best friend, Sherry, who is living in France, and she's living like on this chateau, and she's doing weddings, like she's helping to plan and organize weddings. And so Lizzie, our main character, gets on the train to go to France to see Sherry. She can't get a hold of her, so she has no idea where she's going, any of that. So she can't find a seat on the train, and then she finds a seat next to this American boy named Luke. And so she just like unloads on him and tells him all of this embarrassing stuff, everything that happened with Andy, the guy that she met in London, like went to London for. And she just assumes he's a stranger, so she lets it all out. But then we find out that Luke is the chateau owner's son, and so he's going to the chateau too. So it's their story. It's really immersed in weddings because, like I said, they're all doing these weddings, and Luke's cousin is getting married. So Lizzie, our main character, she just graduated college with a degree in fashion of some sort, so she plays a role in the wedding. There's also some hiccups with her degree, and it was very cute, very entertaining, felt very YA and simple, but it was nice to kind of get out of her head. And in the end, we find out that they're all going to live in the same place afterwards. So I'm really excited to see. The next one is Queen of Babble in the big city. And so they all go to New York. And so it's really fun to see, like, I'm excited to see how their life in New York works out. So that is what's going on now. So I don't think I'm going to start this right now because I have, like, this one I got a copy from on ebook from the library as well, so I could read both formats, and that really works for me because then, like, no matter where I am, I can read, and it's just easier, like, in different situations to read on my Kindle than physically. And also, like, occasionally I'll have, like, the Kindle read to you, which is, like, very robotic and kind of hard to listen to, but also it's a quick way way to get reading done quickly. So I think I'm going to wait. I'm on hold for this one on ebook, and I'm number one, and there's somebody that has it. So it'll be less than 2 weeks. And so I think I'm going to wait to start that one until I get the ebook copy. And so this one too, I didn't say, it fulfilled the prompt of making me happy and places I want to go, because she goes to London and France, and then yeah, and she's from Ann Arbor, Michigan, which is also somewhere I want to go. So this made me happy, and it was somewhere I want to go. And then next, I think I'm going to pick up Family Pictures by Jane Green. This one will fulfill the prompt of having a house on the cover because it's the inside of a house. So again, kind of a stretch, but I think I'm going to pick this one up. And it will also make me happy, I think, because Jane Green just makes me happy. I think this one is more of a serious women's fiction. Potentially, but her characters are almost always really relatable and good, and I enjoy Jane Green quite a bit, so I'm excited to read that one. And that's everything for reading updates. So today is right now it's sunny and still chilly. It's like 40 degrees, but it's supposed to be 60 something, so we may get outside. I am still just struggling with insomnia and not being able to sleep and being really uncomfortable. So I am exhausted today, and it's Saturday, so I'm hoping maybe some good napping. Right now I'm going to turn on the audiobook for Family Pictures and work on some stuff around the house. We, like I said in I think yesterday's vlog, we went around and like put tape on the wall where pictures should be hung. So my husband's doing that now. So I think we'll just be doing a lot of organizational stuff today. And yeah, that's the plan for today. So I will check in later when I have an update on this book. I also am not sure if I'll start anything physically. If I do, it will probably be either a thriller or a nonfiction of some sort, like maybe that book I talked about in my TBR called Mom Enough. I may pick that up if I want to read physically, but truthfully today I am so tired that I think if I do any physical reading, it'll be like minimal because I will not be able to stay awake. So I will update later when I have anything to update. We'll talk to you then.
Hey everyone, so it's about 7 o'clock on Saturday, and I just thought I'd get on and let you know that I finished Family Pictures by Jane Green. And I gave it 4 stars. I thought it was really cute. Jane Green is one of my favorite authors, so it's no surprise that I like this book. But it starts with a woman named Sylvie and her daughter named Eve. And Sylvie had been married to a man named Jonathan, and it was great. They had their daughter Eve, and then Jonathan was killed. So then she remarried a man named Mark. And now it's years later. Eve is a teenager, and Mark travels a lot for work, but otherwise everything's good. And yeah, then something happens when Eve goes to the East Coast. They live in California. She goes to New York to look at schools with some friends that she has out there, and she finds some stuff out about her dad, and the story goes from there. So I don't want to say a whole lot. I'm not sure what it says on the back. I guess I should have checked into it, but I just thought it was really cute. Really, not even cute. That's not a good word. It was really entertaining, and I really liked all the characters, which I think is something Jane Green does really well. And the plot moved quickly enough that the book went by so fast. Obviously, I read it in a day. So there was a couple things that were really convenient, and the ending was, it kind of all tied up in a little bow, but that's okay. I think it still made me happy, made me feel good, because sometimes you just need life to be wrapped up really nicely. And so yeah, that is what I read today. 4 stars for that. I am not sure what I'm going to start now. It's about 7:05. We just finished dinner. We are going to the One World Together, I think is what it's called, is having a concert with a bunch of people. And so I think we might tune into that for a minute and just hang out until bath time. And then, yeah, so I will update in the morning and let you know what I chose to read. Bye. Hey guys, it's about 8:15 on Saturday night, and I just thought I would let you know what I picked to pick up to read. Now, I picked up Love Letters to the Dead, and I'm not sure who it's by, but I'll put a cover up. And the reason I picked this is because it's one that I have physically, and I also have on script, so I can listen to it. And the Turkish cover has her sitting on the roof of a house. So it will fulfill the prompt of a book with a house on it, I think is what it is. And so yeah, it sort of fulfills that. The American cover, I'll put both up so you can see both. The like every other edition besides Turkish has her on a moon, but the Turkish one has her on a house, so it counts for that. And then it's a YA book, I think, about a girl who is assigned in her English class to write a letter to a dead person. And so she like gets really into it, I guess, and starts writing a lot of letters to famous dead people. And then her sister had also died young. And so there's some abuse, I guess, that happened to her while her sister was supposed to be watching her. And so she, I'm guessing, is just going to come to terms with her sister's death and the abuse that happened to her. I don't know anything about this book, so I'm excited to go into it on audio. That will be really nice. And so it has a house on the cover. Mood reading is making me happy. So I don't think this book is going to make me happy because it sounds like kind of a dark subject, but I enjoy mood reading and that's making me happy. I don't think I'll read it all in one place, and I don't think it's anywhere I want to go because it doesn't mention, like, I think it's just some town and she's in high school. So, yeah, that is going to fulfill that prompt if you want to stretch it that way. And that's it. I'll talk to you in the morning when I have made some headway in it. Guys, so I'm sitting outside and I am just going to wrap up this vlog. I finished 2 things since we last talked. So I finished Love Letters to the Dead by Ava DeLaria, and I'm going to give it 3 stars. I was reading some reviews on Goodreads, and I just agree with the people who said the main character was a little bit too immature, acted a little too young for her age, and then the book is just very depressing. So what it's about is she's writing letters to dead people, and basically it just serves as a diary. So she's keeping this diary, but it's in letter format to a variety of different celebrities who have died. And so we find out a lot about her and her life. Her sister died young and her and her sister were pretty close, but she died young, and so she's kind of working through her grief of that in certain ways. But I feel like she didn't really there wasn't a whole lot of growth until the very end. And so, as far as her tragedy and her grieving process goes, and she didn't get counseling or anything until the end. And like, this is so clearly her mom ran away, her dad has her living part-time with her uncle or her aunt, and so it's just like the parents kind of abandoned her, and she had no help going through this grief. And I just didn't really like that. And the pacing was also super slow for me. Like, she had a tendency to ramble, and things just kind of went on and on. And for me, the writing style just wasn't great. So I really like the bones of it, and I like she went to a new high school because she didn't want to be known as like the dead girl sister. So she went to a new high school, and she has to like make friends. And so seeing her do that was good, and seeing just kind of like the tumultuous time that is high school for some people, I really enjoyed that. But overall, it was just a 3-star book. So then I also read Mom Enough, and this is a collection of, I guess, blog posts from a website called desiringgod.com. And it really started in 2012. There was an article in Time, the cover of Time magazine, that had a woman breastfeeding her 4-year-old. And it said, "Are you mom enough?" And so that started a whole bunch of female bloggers writing about motherhood. And this is all within the lens of a Christian faith. And I gave it 2.5 stars because there were some contributors that I was really inspired by and enjoyed, but then there were others that were so judgmental and preachy that even myself, as what I would like to consider a strong Christian woman, was like, whoa, like, you need to step off your high horse. So 2.5 stars for me. I got a little bit of inspiration about just how we can't be perfect and we do need God's grace in mothering. But they also were very much like kind of the enjoy every minute philosophy, which is good and true. And if we could all have that perspective all the time, yes, we wouldn't lose patience, and we wouldn't, have the struggles or the frustrations that we do. But that's not real life motherhood. Like, yes, it would be nice to always remember that your children are loved by God and that this is a gift to be a parent, which Lord knows I fully feel that, because we've had fertility struggles, and my daughter is the best thing that's ever happened to me, and she is the greatest gift. That doesn't mean that I never lose patience or get frustrated or like get exhausted by the daily grinds of motherhood. So 2.5 stars for that. So, those books, The Letters to the Dead, fulfilled a house on the cover, if you count the Turkish cover. And just in general, mood reading makes me feel happy. And then Mom Enough was supposed to make me feel happy, to make me feel like I'm doing a good job, even though I have problems. I mean, even I don't have problems. I love being a mom, and in general, it's the best thing ever. But I thought it was going to be more of a community of women being like, this is hard, but we got this. And that wasn't really what it was all the time. It was, it talked a lot about mom shaming and mommy wars, but it kind of contributed to that. So, yeah, those were that. And I did read Mom Enough all in one spot because it was about 120 pages. So I just read it on the recliner this morning. And so that fulfills that prompt. So I have hit all 4 challenges. So I came back inside and realized that a lot of my clip was really noisy because it was windy outside. So I am going to wrap up the challenges right now and just let you know why I am wrapping up at 3 o'clock. So for the challenge of a book read in all one place is Mom Enough. I read that all in the recliner this morning, like I just said. And then for somewhere you want to go, it could be The Queen of Babble, because that was set in London and France and Ann Arbor, Michigan. And all of those are places I want to go. The Woman Who Stole My Life was also set in Dublin, and I would love to go there. So that challenge was fulfilled. And then for a book that makes me happy, it could count all of them, because mood reading really makes me happy. And so just picking up whatever I wanted to felt really good. And so really all of them could count for that. And then for a book with a house on the cover, The Woman Who Stole My Life had a cityscape. So I'm saying that, of course, was somebody's house. And then the Turkish cover of Love Letters to the Dead also had her sitting on a house. So all of the challenges have been fulfilled, And now I picked up Queen of Babble in the Big City, which is the second in the series. And I'm probably not going to get a whole lot of reading done because it's already 3 o'clock. And tonight I am going to do a new thing called Sabbath Snacks. And so my way of like a little mental health treat for this time of quarantine is on Sundays, Sunday evenings, we are going to do easy dinners that are just snacky or frozen pizza or whatever. And we are going to watch a show or a movie and have a family night. And it's just going to be low key because we are very big on family meals. And so we do everything at the dinner table. And my daughter's a slow eater. So we are sitting there like 30 minutes to an hour twice a day, every day. And cooking 3 meals a day is just exhausting, especially when I'm used to going out for lunch a lot. So that is just going to be my little mental health trick for the rest of this quarantine is to do Sabbath snacks on Sundays and just give me a little bit of rest, mental and physical, of cooking. So we're going to do that tonight. I don't know what we're going to watch because we're caught up on The Masked Singer. So we might go back and watch old seasons, but I don't know if that'll get confusing. So we'll see what we'll watch. And then, yeah, so today we have just been doing stuff around the house. I just got done making almond butter and peanut butter and some pancakes. And the pancakes are ones my daughter loves. You put a banana, a can of garbanzo beans, some peanut butter, almost a whole bag of spinach, and then some milk, some baking powder, and some vanilla in, and you just blend it up and then make it a pancake. And she loves them so much. And so she barely ate anything for lunch because she didn't like what I served, I guess. And so she was eating them like almost as fast as I could make them. So we only have like half a batch left, but that's okay. And so made all that stuff and then got set up for a science experiment that we're going to do tomorrow. And so now I'm going to sit down and read until she wakes up, which she's currently crying. I hope you can't hear that. My husband just put her down and she is not happy about napping. So I'm guessing it's going to be a short one. So then maybe we will take her outside for a walk or something. It's really nice. So hopefully we can get outside a little bit and then just spend the evening watching whatever we're going to watch and snacking. So I don't think I'm going to get a whole lot of reading done. So that's why I'm wrapping it up here. If you have read any of the things I read, please let me know. And if you participated in the Reading Rush stay-at-home readathon, let me know how it went for you. Overall, I'm going to say it's pretty successful for me because I read The Woman Who Stole My Life, Love Letters to the Dead, Queen of Babble, and Mom Enough. So that's 4 books in 3 days, 4 days. But The Woman Who Stole My Life was really long, even though I was halfway through it. Maybe I'm forgetting one, but I don't know. So I think it went pretty well, and that's it. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
So, editing Chloe here, and I didn't forget one book. I forgot 3. So, I'm going to call it Pregnancy Brain. I forgot Overwhelmed by Kathy Lipp, and I forget who the other author was. The Last Breath by Kimberly Bell, and Family Pictures by Jane Green. So, those all together really just fulfill the prompt of making me happy. But that makes 7 books in 4 days. And yes, I was halfway through, so technically 6.5. But I am really proud of that. That is like a lot of books. So most of those, if not all of them, were on my physical TBR. Mom Enough was not because it was just like a PDF format that I got for free. So it was like on my Kindle, but all the other 6 were on my TV, like my physical TBR. So that is awesome. 7 books, 4 days. I'm really proud of that. And then also I forgot to do my good thing a lot. And the reason is like I just forget because I only come on here once or twice a day. So I just forget. I talk about so much. I don't want to ramble on forever. But so my good thing for today is something I was just thinking about this morning, like that my husband is not traveling because he travels for work. And really this whole pregnancy, he's been pretty lucky about not having to go many places. And now I'm at the stage in pregnancy where it's like I'm exhausted even having him here. So it's like I don't know how I'd function without him. And it has also made my daughter a lot more like
willing to go to him and do stuff with him and a lot less mama dependent. And so this time of quarantine has definitely had some perks for that. And that will be very, very useful. I wanted to somehow get that done before the baby so there wouldn't be a whole lot of resentment. And I think this quarantine, this worldwide pandemic, has done that for us. So, little bright spot, silver lining in this craziness. So, yeah, that's my good thing for today and the book I forgot. Thank you, thank you, thank you for watching. Bye.